Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episodes 22 and 23 of Dofus, The Treasures of Cherubim. Now I'm going to start this off saying something that I don't remember if I ever actually mentioned, but I probably did. But just in case, prior to actually bringing this back after having initially dropped it and everything back then, like last year and whatnot, before I actually brought it back, I was questioning whether or not I should, because I was questioning about the idea of bringing back shows that I kind of dropped for the wrong reasons. And this was one of the ones that was high on my mind with that idea. Because when I initially dropped this, it was because I was feeling very meh on it. But recently, I've kind of, I guess you could say, discovered that my meh feelings for it have kind of become more swayed. And let me explain. So, I've talked about before, I mentioned this in my slime reaction as well, the redirect, my pre-thoughts. I mentioned this there as well, but with the entire below 10% rule for dropping a show, just to explain exactly what that means, to put it short, basically it means when it drops to below 10%, which isn't really a real equatable scale of any kind, it just means that my actual interest in the show, my entertainment, my desire to continue is gone. It basically means that I just don't really want to react to it anymore in any way. I don't want to put forth the effort to sit here, set up my laptop and camera, and have to put forth efforts into reacting, because as I've said in the past, reacting does actually take effort. So a lot of people think, oh, you're just sitting there talking about a show as you watch it. And it's like, sure, but for someone like me who's normally very quiet, even when I'm just sitting here alone and watching stuff on my own, actually putting forth effort to communicate, even if it's just with a camera, technically, it actually tires me out. It actually causes me physical tire to be doing that. And so I have to get it to a point where it's like, do I want to continue putting myself through this for this show? Do I think this show is worth it or not? That's basically what it boils down to. Do I think that this show is worth it or not? And honestly, I'll admit, I've been questioning that lately with Dofus. With having come to this new house and everything, getting back into the swing of reactions and all now, during this week, I've been questioning, do I really want to continue with Dofus? Because, as I was saying before, prior to actually bringing it back, I had brought this up on the Discord server. And a couple of you had stated, like, I probably won't like a good portion of the episodes. That there will be some episodes I'll like, of course, but I probably won't like a good portion of them, and overall, it probably wouldn't be worth it. You guys had actually straight up told me that. And so I've honestly been questioning whether or not I should continue it or not. And here's the thing. Not only just because of that, but I've also looked at it through my own eyes. It's like, do I want to continue this? Do I want to continue putting forth this effort every week, or except for weeks I might miss, but every week on average? Do I want to continue putting forth all this effort to make sure that I get this up, to make sure I do this show? And right now, honestly, my thought is, I'm not sure I do. Because here's the thing, dropping a show for me is not, with this 10% scale that I'm using for this channel right now, doesn't mean I think the show's necessarily even bad. It just means I don't want to react to it. I don't want to put forth that effort. So even if I do drop Dofus at this point, that doesn't mean that I have the same opinion of it as like Maggie. That doesn't mean I thought it was terrible like that. It would mean that I just don't want to react to it anymore. And I think what I'm bringing this all up to is that I'm going to let these 2 episodes decide for me. I'm going to see whether or not I still have that interest, whether or not this show still excites me enough, still gets me invested enough. And as I've said in the past, because this is a donation reward, I am more lenient on this. But throughout this entire week, honestly, this is the reaction I've been looking forward to the least. This is the reaction this entire week that I have been not really dreading, but just kind of wishing I didn't have to get to it. Not because I'm not interested in the show, not because I think it's bad, but because I just don't want to record myself watching it. I'm not sure I want to react to it anymore. I don't have that desire. But that could just be because it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit of time since I have reacted to it. So I'm being lenient here. And I'm giving it a chance to win me back, basically. And the reason, again, that I brought up the fact that you guys had told me that maybe it might not be a good idea to get back into it in the first place, because I'm hoping that if I do end up dropping it after these episodes, that will at least be enough of a cushion for me, that you guys won't get too upset at me because you guys had already said that it might just be better for me to not continue reacting to it. If I'm being honest. But I'm honestly hoping that it proves me wrong. I'm honestly hoping that I do find that excitement again. That these episodes are good enough to invest me in this series again. I can't promise anything. I can't tell you it will. I can't say that it will not. I just hope that it will. And we'll have to see. So, yeah. I have no idea where we left off, though, again, with this show, it doesn't really matter. It's very episodic, aside from a couple things. But yeah, I'm just really hoping that this proves me wrong, and I end up getting that spark for the show back and want to continue reacting to it next week. But yeah, we're doing these 2 episodes today. If I do end up dropping it, I will tell you what we will be moving on to next week as well, just to let you know. So, in the meantime, let's just get this started. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin the spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so was not a great set of episodes. The second one was not as bad, but I feel like squandered its idea, having the mermaids and all. But the first one, I hate this entire thing between Carib and Indy. It's not entertaining. It's not funny. The idea of this giant woman and all, just the giant concept in general, is fine, but it's oftentimes not done well, especially when shows like this try to handle it in this kind of way. It felt completely anticlimactic, and the character just, the girl was like very, very shallow as a character. And really, just the way it ended just felt completely silly and stupid. The second episode, again, outside of the mermaid premise, it just felt wasted. It felt like it had a good idea, but the entire thing with this giant angler fish thing swallowing all of the fish around the area, which is just silly in and of itself. And it's like, I just feel like you're going to bring in mermaids and stuff. Like, cool. Do something cool with them. Do something fun with them. Don't basically keep one of them hostage under threat of death and being eaten as sushi the entire time, and have the other one practically be useless other than giving Karu the ability to swim and breathe underwater. It just felt like it was a waste of time. It wasn't that interesting. It squandered its premise of having the mermaids. So yeah, it wasn't that exciting, wasn't that fun. And yeah, as I was saying in my pre-thoughts and all, these episodes were kind of my deciding factor at this point. I think it's really even more clear now too, just in general, that I don't want to react to this. Maybe I'll end up watching it on my own time, and maybe I'll like talk about it on Twitter every now and again when something interesting happens. But I don't want to react to it. I have like pretty much no desire to do so. And again, I'm not saying the show as a whole is bad. I'm not saying that the show is like, and is even problematic or anything. I'm just saying that I just don't want to react to it. I just don't want to take the time and the effort to get all of this done and to put forth all of this, well, again, effort into recording reactions for it. I gave it plenty of a fair chance, and then even after having dropped it once, I did bring it back and gave it, again, plenty of a chance again. And again, I'm not dropping it because I don't like it, not because it's a bad show. I'm dropping it because I just don't want to react to it. I don't have an interest in continuing doing so. So yeah. And that really sucks. It really does. Because, as I stated, I hate doing that. I hate it when that happens. But I just feel like it's necessary. That I'm not going to continue I'm not going to continue just reacting to something that I'm not enjoying recording reactions to. So yeah. Unfortunately, that's kind of where we're going to have to leave off with Dofus. Unless I choose to bring it back again in the future at some point, but it's unlikely that that's going to happen again. It was already, honestly, a big surprise that I did it once. So I really doubt I'm going to do it a second time. But let me bring up my list here just to make sure. This is the cartoon slot. So, the next up for cartoons, the next show I will be watching in this slot will be the Netflix Watership Down series, which let me just bring this closer so I don't have to lean forward. I believe it's only a few episodes long, like it's kind of like this mini series. Let me check real quick. And if that's the case, if it's only like a mini series, I'll probably watch the entire thing, like without doubt. Let me see here. Yes, okay. An adult animated action adventure drama fantasy thriller, geez, have enough genres, miniseries, based on the 1972 novel. Released on December 22nd, 2018 in the UK and internationally on Netflix the next day. Okay, so there are 4 episodes. So yeah, I should easily be able to take care of that then. I should easily be able to do that without much of any trouble, without much of any issue. Even if I don't end up liking it, it'll basically be the same as watching a movie or whatnot. The same kind of experience. I do want to check one more thing. I want to see how long each episode is. So let me get that up here on Netflix. Four episodes. Okay, so each episode's almost an hour long, so they're longer episodes too. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and since they're longer, maybe I'll like give it like half of it. I don't know. See, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see next week when we get to it. But yeah, that will be next up in the cartoon section of the Friday reactions. And hopefully this one ends up being good. I have very little idea what Watership Down is actually about, and I hope to keep it that way. I just know it's a dark series that's like very like scary and stuff, despite being like cute rabbits and stuff. That's pretty much all I know about it. Because I never saw the original movie. So we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. Hopefully it'll be good. But for now, I thank you all so much for tuning in. And I do apologize for dropping Dofus again. But again, it's just like, I don't think it's necessarily a bad series. And again, I might continue watching on my own time and posting thoughts on Discord. But I'm not going to react to it. I just don't have a desire to do so. I don't really want to react to it anymore. Basically, I just want to move on. But yeah. So, thank you all so much for continuing to support the channel and all. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See you all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,